Hello to anybody who might be watching this video right now. This is my first time actually posting to YouTube. I thought it would be interesting to maybe post a video after watching other people's experiences and stories with their panic attacks, anxiety, and agoraphobia. I'm hoping that maybe somebody here can give me some advice on what they did to get well, or maybe I can help somebody else who's just now newly going through panic disorder or anxiety attacks or whatever the case may be. I think I've always been an anxious person, or I've always had anxiety since I was a kid. I've had anxiety disorder actually diagnosed by somebody since I was 18, back in 2008, and they went away. I actually had a brief I'd say 3.5 years, 4 years almost, of no panic attacks, no anxiety, so I thought they were gone. Little did I know they weren't. And at the beginning of this year, the panic attacks came back with a vengeance, and then agoraphobia started happening, which is horrible, horrible, horrible. I first started noticing myself I didn't want to drive at nighttime. Then I wouldn't want to drive by myself anywhere. I would start kind of getting people to take me to work, and then I had a horrible, horrible panic attack at work. And when I get my panic attacks, I just get really, really lightheaded. I get dizzy. Feels like I'm just going to faint right then and there. I never have, by the way, but it always feels like that. I always seem to tell myself that this is going to happen. I get really bad, what I call heart flutters. I think they're heart palpitations, but I describe them as fluttering of the heart. It just feels like your heart just kind of like skips a whole bunch of beats and then just starts up again or something. I don't know. It's weird. I get really short of breath. It feels like I'm being smothered. Can't catch my breath. The worst one of all, I would have to say, is the depersonalization, I think they call it, or derealization. Basically, it makes you feel like your mind is clouded and you can't, it's like you're almost like you're not there. Like you're there, it's happening, but you feel like just so spaced out and you can't think straight. Your mind is clouded. It's horrible. That's anxiety in a nutshell. It's the worst thing. I would never, ever, ever wish this upon my worst enemy. I mean, it literally stops your life for the time that you're going through it. I had to stop working. I've been off of work now for 4 months, which has been a really big blow because I work really, really hard to get this job that I have. And now I've been off now for 4 months, unfortunately, and I have a little one to support, so it's really even more frustrating for me that I can't be at work to provide for her. It's caused me to stop driving. It's caused me to stop going out with friends. It's caused me to really not go much of anywhere. I mean, I really don't do anything, unfortunately. Agoraphobia, the term, it means afraid of the marketplace, that's the proper definition. My definition would be afraid of anywhere. I mean, I literally can't go to the grocery store. I feel so helpless because I usually have to have my family go grocery shopping for me if I need something to eat, if I need, simple things, from the stores like Walmart and Target. I have to have everybody do my shopping for me, which makes me frustrated because I've always been the person who can be independent and do stuff on my own, go to the mall, go shopping, go anywhere I wanted to go. And now with this agoraphobia, everything is just, I have to be dependent on, unfortunately, my parents or somebody else to do everything for me. I don't drive. I can't even drive around the block. Sometimes it's hard for me to even get in my car and try to practice driving around the block. I get anxious. I know they say exercise helps, but even walking, I try walking around my block and the symptoms start right back up. And I just get afraid, I guess, of leaving my comfort zone. I mean, my house is kind of like my comfort zone because I feel safe here, I guess. And when I go out, I just feel so out of control, like, oh my gosh, what if I go out and have a panic attack? What if somebody sees me freaking out? And it's horrible. I haven't tried medicine. Well, I'm not on any medicine, I should say. I have tried Zoloft for like a week, and it just caused really, really bad insomnia, so I stopped taking it. When I was in the emergency one time for my panic attacks, they gave me Ativan, and it's kind of reassuring. I keep it on me at all times just in case it gets that bad, because Ativan definitely does work. You pop an Ativan, within 15 minutes, it instantly calms you down. It stops the racing thoughts, it stops the fast heartbeat, it stops all of the symptoms, really. But I would highly recommend taking it as needed. Don't abuse it. Don't pop it every time you have one, because you really want to learn how to master these things in order to calm yourself down versus having to rely on, a drug to do it for you. I think that's most important, especially for me right now. But yeah, I mean, panic disorder, agoraphobia, thumbs down. It's just, it sucks. It really does suck. Luckily, I found a therapist who actually is willing to come to my house. I know it was so frustrating for me at first, because I'm like, okay, I have panic disorder, I have agoraphobia. How in the world do I seek treatment if I can't go out of my house? I was blessed enough to find a therapist who actually comes to my home, and she does cognitive behavioral therapy as well as some other things. And I've been seeing her now for a month or so, a little longer than a month. I've only seen her 3 times though. So I'm hoping that this definitely will help me. I've heard cognitive behavioral therapy is really great, especially if you don't want to go the medication route, which I'm so against. So I've been just hoping and relying on that. Prayer. I've been praying a lot. I don't know if you guys are religious or if you have a religious background. I'm not the most religious person, but I can tell you one thing: prayer does work, and you definitely see a lot of results, because I was worse a couple months back than I am now, and I just am thankful that I'm not in that place. I used to wake up with anxiety. Like, I used to dread getting up because I thought, how in the world am I going to get through this day with all this anxiety? It's horrible. Some other things that have kind of been helping me, I've been reading a lot since I can't go anywhere. I've had lots of time to just sit and read. A couple of books I have here. One is, it's called Don't Panic, and it's taking control of anxiety attacks. The author is Reid. This is a really, really good one. Really, really good one. Another one here is Learning to Tell Myself the Truth by William Backus. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but it's a 6-week guide. It also helps with anger, depression, and anxiety. And of course, I'm just reading it for the anxiety part of it. It's actually a workbook, so they have you do like various little exercises throughout the book, and allows you to kind of write down your thoughts. I don't know if anybody's ever tried that, but just write down what you're thinking prior to the panic attacks, and it kind of helps you to I guess correct your negative thoughts, because that's all anxiety really is just negative thinking. Everybody tells me, why don't you think more positive, and why don't you try to be happy? Trust me, if it was that easy, I don't think I would be making this video right now. I think if I could just, twirl a wand and say I'm better and I don't have this, I would do it. Trust me, I would do it. Another book that I've been reading is Freedom from Fear: Overcoming Worry and Anxiety. And this one is by Neil T. Anderson and Rich Miller. And I don't think you guys can see the books good. It's kind of, backwards on here on my webcam. So I'll place the titles and the authors of the book down below. Because I would highly recommend anyone who's just sitting in the house and have really, really bad debilitating panic attacks and agoraphobia, just read as much as you can. It's definitely been helping me a lot. That's all I can think of right now. I would appreciate if anyone could leave any positive feedback for me, maybe some advice on what you did to get yourself well. If you've ever been through this before, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.